Hey, what's up, guys? This is Juvenile again from FFC, and today I just had a bunch of questions actually coming in. You know, my background's in the payroll field, so I had a lot of questions from business owners as I've been having meetings as to the whole PPP loan and everything going on, and you know, basically to stimulate the economy. So we all know we're going to be going into the second, or I guess another big shutdown coming up. So there's a lot of things that people actually can do to make sure they stay afloat, especially in the small business community. So please share this information. Please help somebody out. I know as of Wednesday, November 4th, actually Senate Majority Leader, I believe his name is Mitch Conmel, said that there is and Congress should pass another stimulus check before, or not stimulus check, but actually another round of PPP loans, money for small businesses, hospitals, things of that nature before the end of this year is the goal. So with another lockdown coming up, you know, small businesses are going to be really affected. So you want to make sure you prepare because usually, and this is something I saw the last couple of months with the last round of PPP loans, is that the government was throwing so much money at, you know, small businesses as a result of COVID relief, but so many businesses actually weren't able to take advantage of it, usually because all of your stuff was not in check. And unfortunately, that has a lot to do with paperwork, tax filing, and things of another nature. But let me walk you guys through what it is that we need to do, right? Because too many entrepreneurs that I've seen, you know, are operating their businesses as more of a hobby, right? And that needs to stop. Because if they don't have any paperwork set up, if they don't have, you know, things set up correctly or registered with the state, with the IRS, or so on and so forth, you know, you're not really a business, right? And so if you don't have bookkeeping, that's one of the things, you know, for you to keep all the records. You can't even tell me how much money you have made. You know, you can't tell me how much money you have profited. So if you don't know the numbers, you know, and you're not really operating a business, period, to be honest with you. And all my clients that I've helped with bookkeeping, kind of invoicing, accounting, all that needs, you know, all of them qualify for PPP and all the EIDL loans from the SBA and the government. So I hope that you guys learn to prepare yourself a little better so that you can make sure you get this, right? And most of you, another common mistake is that, yeah, of course, everybody wants to write off as much in the taxes, and I'm in the same boat in my business. I want to write off as much as possible, the clothes I buy, what I eat, you know, when I go travel somewhere, the hotel rooms, everything that I use, I want to write it off. But if you want a loan, you got to look at two things, right? They look at your taxes, your tax returns, right? If you want a loan, the question to ask yourself is this: if you're the one lending the money, would you lend the money to somebody? Let's say, would you lend somebody $150,000 to somebody who has a net income at the end of the year of negative $15,000, negative $20,000 because they wrote off so many expenses? Probably not, right? And that's the same thing that the government sees, the same thing the banks see, right? I don't know about you, but I'm not really loaning any money to anybody that's telling me that they don't have enough money to pay me back every year, right? So that's one of the biggest things to consider when you're looking to get a loan, when you're looking to get a house, anything of that nature. That just make sure you're planning and positioning yourself early on, right? And I basically, this pandemic, I realized that the majority of people do not understand the difference between what is an employee and what is a contractor. And simple as this: if you're not paying any payroll taxes, you don't have an employee. They're technically a contractor. And so you cannot claim all the benefits that employees would get. So you got to make sure you have set up correctly your payroll, have set up correctly your whole invoicing and bookkeeping system so that you're able to keep track and understand where your money is, so that when they do ask you for the PPP loan information, I'm going to walk you guys through quickly what it is you're going to need. And please share this information with people, because there's going to be a lot of small businesses that are getting hit and that are going to need this money. So they need to start prepping now. You know, we're at the mid-November, and if they do pass something by next month, you should already be able to qualify for it if you start today and have these things, you know, these 8 things in order, right? And I'm going to walk through, I made a list. So number 1, you're going to complete the actual PPP application form. You know, usually you're going to include your name, the addresses, the name of all the owners, the business type, what kind of entity you are, right? And you're going to check either yes or no questions in the loan, right? Usually, the second thing they will ask you for is your average payroll monthly cost. So basically, this only applies to businesses with employees, but your payroll costs include your employee salary. It includes all their wages, the commissions, any kind of cash tips, whatever you can put that you've given them as some sort of compensation will be added to how much you can qualify. So make sure you add everything and have reports for everything, right? And more than anything else, you must actually show how you got to that number. So they're going to be requesting reports or requesting some sort of documentation as to how you calculated that. Third thing you need, 2019, since this was last year, you're going to need proof of payroll costs or any kind of self-income that you generated the year before. And this is really where, if you have employees, the IRS form, I believe it's the 940 or the 941, those will usually have those details for you. But looking back at your tax returns will really help during this third part of the whole process, right? And if you are self-employed and you don't have any employees, you just need to provide the form 1040 Schedule C that proves your own income. That is what you can also use, or the profit. I think it's noted on line, I believe I wrote it here, line 31, and that's where your income comes into play, right? And if you do have health insurance payments, also that is accepted. The fourth thing you need to do is provide your proof of ownership. So you got to make sure that obviously it's your name, your social security if you're looking to get PPP loan from the government, your ITIN number or EIN number, and make sure you provide a document that has that information there, either the articles of incorporation of your corporation, something with your social security on it, your schedule, I think it's a K1, the K1 form, something that has a written statement that ownership has not changed for the last maybe 2 years or so, right? And the fifth thing that you want to have is some sort of ID or passport, right? Because they need to make sure that you are you. And so make sure you guys have that ready, and it has to be unexpired. I know a lot of people have their passports, they have their IDs, it's been expired for 6-7 months, a year, 2 years, but they will not validate. That could be the reason why they don't accept you as well. Sixth thing you need is an email address for all the owners or for yourself. If anybody owns more than 20% of the business, you need to include them into all this documentation and make sure you put all their email addresses. The seventh thing you're going to need is where you want the funds to go. So you need a bank account. You need to put either the bank routing, an account number, or a statement of your bank account where you want the funds to be approved into and sent to, right? And most of the time they'll ask you for bank statements, so make sure you have that. You can get that on your online app. You can get that by going to the bank, or if you get paper, every month you'll get a statement, use that, right? And the eighth thing, you need to prove business operation and activity with the Secretary of State website. Now, you could just provide a screenshot of the certificate. So if your business, when you got your EIN number, you registered with the Secretary of State, you can literally Google search Secretary of State California Business search up your business there on the search tab, and your documents that were registered with the Secretary of State will appear there. Screenshot that, forward it to the government, and forward it to anywhere you're applying for this money, right? And usually with that, every state has a different website or different certificate kind of that they need. So make sure based on your state, you go on the Secretary of State search, and that's usually it. After that, you'll be able to actually see how much you qualified for and make sure you get that money as soon as possible. But we are going into another lockdown, so I wanted to make this video to just educate some of the people, since so many of my clients have been asking me the same question. Oh, can you help me apply for this? Or how do you apply for this? But none of them had the documentation needed, and it was because they never set their business up correctly. So this is the time to actually start doing things right. Please share this information with anybody who can benefit. We are going to be doing more videos like this where, and if you have anything you want to learn more about, please send us, a comment, send us a message. My Instagram is of course on my channel. It's Juvenal Farias 1. And so please send us a DM, and share this with somebody who can benefit from it. I will be making a version in Spanish as well, or retranslating this so that we can help add value to as many people as possible. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope you guys get some value. Make sure you guys get that money coming up next month.